Hi, Bryan.
Good morning, Alex.
In northern Colorado vineyards, love is week 3 or week week 4.
Yeah, down here in Florence, we did love this last week, and we'll be doing joy this week. So we got it out of order, and the Advent police are knocking on my door. But
That's the beautiful thing about being the head guy in charge is you get to change thousands of years of liturgy. You've been doing a lot of life celebration services lately.
Yeah, it has been a season. We've had 4 in just the last 3 weeks, I think.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot, but then at the other, we're getting to that age, Alex, where, hey,
yeah,
when we were younger, we didn't think about it as much because it wasn't our friends. I don't think it might have been an aunt or an uncle or a grandma or grandpa, but now it's some of our contemporaries.
Yeah. So. Well, and we're talking about love, and it seems like when we get to this stage, we see people who are living, who have lives well lived because of love. And I think about your mom, who I know your niece passed away, and you did that service this past Saturday. Mm-hmm. But your mom was up here for months and months, helping her daughter, your sister, and looking out for your granddaughter, and that's some good love.
Yeah, she is still up there. She's coming back down this weekend, but yeah, I mean, and it was hard. She'd be the first to say it was. There were times where she had to come down and take care of a few things, and she'd stay for a day or two, and then when she was getting ready to go back, there was times where she cried because she said, "I feel guilty because I really don't want to go back up there." And I told her, "Mom, it's okay to not want to, but you're doing it, and I can't tell you how proud I am because it is hard. It was hard to be there and just watch her dealing with cancer. She was paralyzed for the last 4 or 5 months of her life from the waist down and just dealing with pain every day. And my mom was feeling like, I just feel kind of helpless. And it's like, no, she knew praying was one of the most powerful tools we could have. And so, yeah, that's such an example, a good legacy of love for my family. Watching my mom put her life aside for the sake of another and out of serving Jesus. She knew that the Lord was calling her to be there. We talked about a couple of these lives that we do these celebrations at, and it's hard because sometimes we'll go to a life celebration where the life wasn't really lived out as much as it could have been for Christ.
Yeah.
And then we go to others where it's just, I was at one just yesterday, and he and his wife were missionaries for 25 years to Guatemala. He didn't go down there until he was 60. Before that, he had lived a life committed as a brother. He had took a vow through the Catholic Church when he was younger. Taught at
you say as a brother, was he? So he was a priest.
No, he was more just a monk. But then when he was about 40, the Lord called him to a different place in his life. He lived in Trinidad, and there he met Kathy, who became his wife. They ran a health food store in Trinidad for quite a few years. And while they were there, they started a pregnancy center. They started helped start a school for kids, a Christian school. And he started a Boy Scout troop for handicapped kids.
Oh my gosh.
Which I just think, wow. And then the Lord called them to Guatemala. And while they were there, the Lord literally dropped this little infant boy at their doorstep who had cleft palate. And they just felt like God was saying, adopt this little guy. And I think George was 65 when he adopted, 63 when he adopted Jose, who they renamed Isaac, and trips back and forth because of surgeries. And, you go to that memorial service and there's heartache there because we're going to miss that guy. But man, what a life well lived for the Lord. He got it. His life was focused on serving others and serving the poor down in Guatemala, the ministry that they ran. My son Jacob and I got to go down there in 2002, I think it was,
Oh, wow.
and got to be a part of what they do down there. And yeah, and then just seeing the last couple months of his life, he was in a memory care facility dealing with Alzheimer's. Last time we saw him, he did not recognize us, but Kathy and his son Isaac, who's now 25, were there. And so talking to Isaac, he had taken a leave of absence from work to take care of his mom and dad. And they had spent a lot of Thanksgivings and time with us, so we know them real well. And I just said, Isaac, I am so proud of you and what you're doing. And he said, you know what? They took care of me, and now it's my turn to take care of them. And that's the love of Christ.
Yeah.
That's the love that we're called to, where we actually walk it out. And it is not easy. It's not always easy.
It seems like there's a misnomer that love is supposed to be spontaneous. It's supposed to be a feeling. I think about a song by Al Stewart, which says something like, "If it doesn't come naturally, leave it." That's one of his.
Oh yeah.
Are you actually familiar with that one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and it's this idea that, hey, if you're forcing it, then it's just not real, And there's sort of this thing about love that if there's like duty or love, and then there's the sticky religious people that are into obligation, and yet these people that embrace that idea, when stuff gets hard, they immediately go into avoidance. Whether it's like if your mom didn't want to deal with something that was hard, her granddaughter dying of cancer, then she would avoid it. And it seems like people, they seem to choose avoidance so much of the time. I can't deal with that. I'm going to just medicate myself or distract myself or focus on myself. And that's not what love does. Love, this is a different picture, a different paradigm of love, where it's a decision that's often a hard decision.